there's a couple of different things that I think are very important that people understand regarding, Trump and Elon and why they have had this political breakup, if you will. When you're talking about the most powerful man on earth and the richest man on earth, depending on the week, because obviously the money moves around constantly, this was something that I think a lot of people felt was inevitable, that there was going to be a break between Elon and Trump. The egos were simply too big, that they would be constantly fighting, and that there was just no way that they would be able to survive this. Did you think that they lasted as long as they would, or were you expecting this to blow up faster than it did?
I wasn't sure. I didn't know. Everything was so unhinged. I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. I think it kind of all depended on whatever Trump's getting on the back end from anything that's going on that's going to benefit him and his family. I think that has a lot to do with where things go. I am not sure about what they've presented being the real problem is actually the problem. I think there's a possibility there's going to be another honeymoon period in a week or two. I mean, maybe the cuts to the Build Back Better were the problem, or Build Back Better. It's funny. The big, beautiful bill. Those guys like.
I'm not convinced that bill is going to pass.
No, I don't think it will. And not without a lot of changes to it. So I think that it's weird to me. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know if it is, some people call it a psyop to distract from other things that's going on. That's possible. But also both of these guys are so narcissistically arrogant and have this inflated view of what their intelligence actually is that I'm not surprised that they're acting like big man babies online. So I have very mixed views. I have no idea. It's entertaining to me in a sad and dystopian, satirical kind of way, though.
Yeah, I think that we're in a unique time where there's just way too much exposure to a lot of the things that are being said in public. And, when Elon comes out and says that Trump was on the Epstein log, and now all of a sudden they're apparently making up and everything is fine. Everything is not fine. You still haven't released the Epstein Files. You've got Kash Patel going on Joe Rogan saying that Epstein killed himself. One nation under blackmail.
Essentially.
People that had completely different tunes that were being espoused before they got into power. Now they're in it, and now they're saying something completely different, which to me it's just grounds for levels of suspicion where you have to know that there are so many people of immense prominence that are on those flight logs, that have been to that island, that commit untold, unsightly acts of criminal behavior. And the fact that so many people were anticipating that this is going to be released and now it isn't being released, or that the files are being destroyed, this is just one more layer being added on to people who distrust this system and are never going to trust it again. And they shouldn't. I mean, that's what I see.
There's also this, I feel like Elon's kind of pulling a Jake Tapper.
How so?
What about the Epstein list? Dude, if you saw them and you knew that and you didn't call it out at the time because of your own political expediency, what the hell does that say about you? Kind of like Jake Tapper. I wrote a book, about about Biden's decline, but I didn't say anything when I was, while he was still in office, or Jean Pierre being like, I had issues with how things were going. Now I'm going to be independent. It just reminded me of that a little bit. I wouldn't be, it's not like it's some big shocker if he's actually on the list. He called Glaswell, is that how you pronounce her name? I always pronounce it wrong.
Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Thank you, Ghislaine Maxwell. He called her a friend, a dear friend. He talked about how him and Epstein were best friends for 25, 30 years. What do you expect? There's photos of him at tons of his parties
in Israel.
Yeah. They hung out constantly. You don't think he got all a little with what Epstein had going on there, you think that Donald Trump, of all people, the same person that was accused of being all creepy when he worked in Miss America and went back to see how the girls looked before the show, like when he owned Miss America, you don't think that dude was doing some shady stuff on and around Epstein with all of that going on? And if he didn't even do that, he still stayed friends with this guy for 30 years who was sex trafficking women. So regardless, if your best friend is a sex trafficker, there's something wrong with you. But I do think that I think it was more. But regardless, that should be enough. That should be enough.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not going to be. I just
like
don't know where they think.
Big, like, oh, Trump was on the Epstein. You think? Duh. We know. We know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah.
I think it's gonna boil over at some point. I just don't know what it's gonna look like. I think we all have to recognize that even if there is this sort of acceptance of people at certain levels that they're able to get away with what they're able to get away with, I don't understand how anyone could just pretend like Elon Musk did not say that Trump was in the Epstein Files and that you could just toss that aside like it doesn't matter. I would say that that's a pretty significant problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I just, I feel like it's something that we already kind of know. But maybe if somebody like an Elon was to release something like that, some of the people that were still kind of in denial about it or didn't want to believe it, or maybe even don't even understand how close Trump has ties to Epstein would see it for once. I mean, if it's real, I want him to release it. I'm like, yes, please show us now. Don't hold out on us. Like, don't just threaten. If you know this, why aren't you saying something?
Well, because again, I don't think it's just about Trump. I think it's about a lot of other people. I think it's a lot of people that the world would be shocked to know about if the information was ever released. That, I think, is the biggest issue here. Just Elon just depends on, what time of day, much like Trump has that doesn't have a filter, will say whatever is on his mind and we'll just go with it. And they are hoping that people forget that he said this. But I'm still of the mind that Epstein worked with Mossad and that everything is interconnected with Israel. Once again, that is why this has to be protected. This information cannot be released.
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty clear evidence of that. I mean, that's not something that is conspiracy theory or out there at all. I mean, there was some clear reporting that he had literally direct ties to Mossad. This isn't it's so strange, isn't it? On another note, not to take us off the issues, but it is so strange to me that things like Trump being best friends with Epstein, or the fact that there were ties to Mossad and Epstein, that's just clear, literal reporting. It's a conspiracy, but it's a real one. But how these things that are real get written off as conspiracy theory, I find that to be fascinating when it's documented. I mean, I've seen that now when it comes to Gaza and Gaza being leveled. People are, there are some people, of course, it's a minority now, thank God, that are like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Gaza was it's not really leveled. That many people haven't been killed. And it's just interesting to me when it's just straight up facts are considered conspiracy theory.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's what it is. It's just a question of how much more people can be pushed before they just will not accept anything that is considered above board, because it isn't. There were people that were raped. There were people that were trafficked. There were people that were killed. And then you have people that will just lie to protect power, protect their career. I mean, This happened the other day on Joe Rogan.
This is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein Files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation
What is
between
he?
Elon
Have a
and Trump.
nice day, DJT. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things, and
Yeah. Listen,
Well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
yeah,
Yeah.
they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say.
I have to say, I really do like the shirt that Rogan is rocking right there. That is a Garden State Parkway exit 145.
Oh yeah, it is.
Shirt.
It
So
is.
I really appreciate that when I see it. It really is cool. I like how I believe that's Kash Patel in the background saying that. Hang on. What they're basically saying is you got Kash Patel in the background saying, "Oh, I ain't getting involved in this conversation." Why not, Kash? Who are you protecting? So Elon puts this out there, and then the president of the United States is going to have to respond to it. And then all the while, you just want to pretend like this isn't happening. This is the whole concept of one nation under black men, where we are not going to talk about this. And I'm sorry, Joe, I captured you in the worst possible screen capture, so I'll adjust your face. There you go. So let's see what else he has to say.
Does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein Files? Or does he have access to the Epstein Files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump Elon thing. That's way outside
What
my
the
lane.
fuck are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't.
He knows his lane, Z. He knows his lane.
Of
You know
course
what
he does. I mean, he's working for a fascist regime. You don't work for a fascist regime if you expect to be able to just say what you think when you say it, when you think it.
You know what? They all are. They're all the same. Just like everybody kept their mouth shut about Biden. It's all plausible deniability. I don't know nothing. I don't see nothing. I don't hear anything. Whoever's problem it is, it's their problem. We've got them.
Well, I include those losers in the fascist regime too. But yeah.
All that aside, I mean, I can remember when people in MAGA were going absolutely nuts about getting Kash Patel in as the head of the FBI, thinking that this guy is going to really do the job. He's really going to release all these files. We're going to know all these things about people in the highest echelon levels of society. And then all the while, the whole world just comes crashing down where the reality is that, no, you are just a peasant. You are just going to be, and you just accept that you are even allowed to breathe and live on this most perfect nation that is the United States. Thank you for helping getting these people elected into power, but you can go now. We don't have any more use for you. And that's essentially what he's saying. Kash Patel is being given an opportunity to make a comment about what Elon just put out there. And you know that tweet's probably been deleted now because apparently Elon and Trump are patching things up. Trump has not even commented on what Elon said. He has kept his mouth shut the entire time. So it's really got to make you wonder why he's doing that.
Yeah. It's so strange. I could see him not wanting to get in the middle of their kerfuffle or whatever, but dude, you were the one who released that information. You were the one who supposedly was in charge of reviewing and releasing the Epstein files. So yeah, that tweet kind of directly relates to Kash Patel. Directly relates to him. He's like, I know this relates to the work I'm doing and everything I've been doing, but I'm not going to comment on this one, Well,
let's see if he has anything else to say.
I mean, I understand he owns Twitter. I think it's bad for your mental health. I think posting things public all day and arguing with people all day is bad for you.
Well, you raise a great point. Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Half of what we have to respond to is the click army on social media.
I don't know what he's alluding to, but it does seem that this is a story that they really want to sweep under the rug. We should not allow them to sweep this under the rug.